Hello everyone, Mr. K here again, talking about hydraulic and fluid safety. This is going to be a pretty quick one, but a pretty important one because this is probably the most common of all the safety issues or PowerPoints that we have for this lesson or this unit. So I would like you to go ahead and stop this video and punch this guy into your URL, or go ahead and search for that on YouTube. Concrete pump hydraulic cylinder explodes. And that just gives you a quick idea of how powerful this stuff is and how dangerous it can be. So go ahead and do that at this time and pause the video. All right, so you should have watched that. Hydraulic or concrete pump hydraulic cylinder explodes. So that's just one of many examples you can find on there, and we'll show a few more here, but a lot of dangers with hydraulic systems, hydraulic fluid. All right. So some different things to watch out for, things we're going to talk about today are ingestion and exposure concerns, temperature burns, hydraulic needle effect, flammability, and of course, where is it found? So that you guys actually know what I'm talking about here. Some of you might be saying, well, geez, hydraulic systems, they don't have those on cars, or what are, why are we talking about this? Well, we're gonna go through that. Where do we find hydraulic lines, hydraulic systems? This is a picture of, see if my mouse comes up, these guys here, these two. Okay. Transmission cooling lines. That's hydraulic system. And guess what? Those get a lot of pressure and they get hot. And that would be one, and they do blow. I see this rust right here. That's probably, I would estimate, maybe about 2 to 5 years from blowing on that line. So when those blow, they dump hydraulic fluid all over the road and sometimes shoot upwards at the exhaust manifolds or turbocharger, and you've got a big problem. More hydraulic lines. Take a look at these. Hint, steering box. Okay. Power steering lines. Same thing. Those can get up real high pressure and they get hot. It runs hot on a lot of vehicles. Last one, brake lines. Okay. Again, super high pressure, 800 to 2000 psi. Higher pressure for disc brakes. I'm not sure if you know that. Drum brakes use less pressure. They're actually a more efficient system when it comes to hydraulics. And I just put 150 psi as just my estimate for if a car is baking in the sun on a blacktop. Okay. Where else do we find them? Heavy equipment. So at this point, go ahead and pause the video and punch this in. Garbage truck burst into flames, or punch that URL, or punch that into your that URL into your internet browser, and go ahead and watch that video. Okay, so you should have just watched that video, and pretty unbelievable. We're starting to get into the flammability aspect of it there, and that's just because that's a real easy one to show. But you can find lots of videos like that online. A little tiny hydraulic line has a crack in it, and you let it go, and eventually it blows and ends up in what you saw in the video. Okay, so where else do we find hydraulic lines? In factories and big presses and stamping machines and all kinds of stuff like that, lifting machines. These are huge hydraulic lines running over here. In fact, looks like he's even working on a big hydraulic line up there. If one of those things blows, you could better believe it's going to shower you in fluid. So while we're talking about that, let's talk about ingestion and exposure. Okay, most hydraulic fluids, even Skydrol, which is supposed to be one of the nastiest fluids out there, it's used in aviation, actually isn't as bad as you might think to get on your skin or even to ingest. I'm sure some of them are fatal, but these are pulled off the MSDS from Rural King brand tractor hydraulic oil, because I figured that's probably the most common thing you're going to work with at home or around this area. So exposure, they just talk about, oh, you wear your PPE, eye wash station, safety shower. It's kind of the normal stuff. Ingestion, if you swallow large volumes, it can cause depression, headache, drowsiness, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Smaller doses have laxative effect. It's not terrible, actually. That's a lot a lot better than some things, mainly gasoline. Gasoline is one of the things we deal with all the time. It's one of the most hazardous for us. All right, temperature burns. So if you're not ingesting it, it could burn you. Okay, that's the next, probably the biggest thing to worry about. Most hydraulics that we deal with, I would argue, operate probably around the 200 F range. And you can see what it takes to burn your skin. Okay, this chart only goes up to 156 F, but it takes 1 second at 156 F to burn your skin. So at 200, it's just instant burn. There's no delay factor. You just instant have second or third degree burns. Okay, hydraulic needle effect. Brace yourselves if you have a weak stomach or you faint easily. You may want to look away, but this is what it ends up with. So if you get your hands too close to your skin, too close to a hose, and it blows, or a hydraulic needle where the hydraulic fluid's shooting out real high pressure, it can enter in your hand here and it can blow it out all the way down here. And at this time, go ahead and pause the video and punch in hydraulic oil explosion in YouTube, or punch in that URL and watch that video. Okay, you should have just watched the video on hydraulic oil explosion. I'm putting these videos up here just to give you guys an idea of the power that these systems have. They can cut through your skin, they can blind you, they can give you second, third degree burns instantly. Not something to mess around with. Okay. Again, this picture kind of says it all. Your first line of defense when it comes to preventing fires on heavy equipment, they're talking about hydraulics. A leaky or worn fuel or hydraulic line, a hot turbocharger, and suddenly you have a big problem. So that is 100% true. You got to maintain your equipment. So another thing about flammability and heat right there, another warning about that. At this point in time, I'd like you to pause it again and search this in YouTube, Cat 320B catches fire from hydraulic hose burst, or punch in that URL and see how fast it happens. Go ahead and do that at this time. Okay, you should have just watched that video on the, I think it's an excavator that catches fire. You guys can see how fast it happens. The operator got lucky on that one. It kind of put itself out, but on the garbage truck, I don't know that it would have before bodily injury would have occurred. So luckily that guy jumped out on that video, but it goes bad real fast. Okay. At this point in time, go ahead and complete your assignment on hydraulic safety, and have a good day.